Okay, good to see everyone again. So we'll start with just a couple short practices that I'm trying to remember to do more and more to help out when I'm feeling stressed. And so we'll go through three or four, depending on how much time we have, short practices that hopefully you can take with you into the holidays and into your day-to-day life. So to start, I'd invite you to go ahead and close your eyes if you're open to that. And sitting up straight, I'd invite you to bring to mind anything that is causing stress in your life. You might not need to look too far to just kind of feel in your body what it thinks of, what it feels like to think of something stressful. And the first thing that we're going to do is just a few deep breaths. And so I'd encourage you to inhale deeply into your belly, expanding your belly out as if it were a beach ball, deeper than you would normally inhale. And then holding that inhale just for a few seconds with those fully expanded lungs. And then releasing that breath with a sigh, with a noise, with some sort of physical movement. So I'll demonstrate as well, but you could just do it at your own pace, however you'd like. So a deep breath in. And I'm going to do that again. A deep inhale into my belly, much deeper than I normally inhale, holding for a few seconds, and then exhaling with a sigh or a sound. Do one more at your own pace there. You can open your eyes. I think one thing I particularly like about that practice is the first thing that happens for me when I get stressed is I stop breathing or I start breathing shallowly. And I find that when I'm able to remind myself to do that, just breathing more can help me relax a little bit. And then there's something for me about just letting out a physical sound like that that just feels like it can move some of that stress. So that's one tactic I would recommend. Let's try a second one since we have time. So I'd invite you again to just close your eyes for a moment. And again, just bring to mind something that is bringing you stress right now in your life, feeling that stress come alive in your body. And you can open your eyes for this. I'm going to just do a movement with my fingers on my dominant hand. I'm right-handed. I'm going to take my pointer finger and thumb and bring them together, and I'm just going to start to move them about slowly. You can close your eyes. We're just going to do that movement. But I'd love for you to bring as much as your awareness as possible on the physical sensation between your thumb and your pointer finger. See if you could move your fingers slowly enough and with enough attention and force that you can even feel the grooves of your fingerprints. Bring your awareness there and see, do you feel the physical sensation more in your thumb or in your pointer finger or both? As you continuously move your fingers, maybe slower or faster, seeing if you can feel any heat generated in the movement. And just noticing the subtle feeling of that vibration of your fingerprints rubbing against each other. Noticing any physical sensations in your fingers right now. And then bringing that to a close, you can stop rubbing your fingers, but just check in with yourself. See where your stress is at, if your stress is reduced, even just a little bit. And you can open your eyes again. I really like this practice for a couple of reasons. One of them is that I find that if I'm able to bring my attention just to that simple movement, it kind of gets me out of my head. It gets me out of this cycle of stressing. And there's something for me about focusing on one specific thing as purposefully as possible that tends to calm me down. The other reason I like this practice is the first one we did of breathing in and breathing out. That's not something I can do at the Thanksgiving table dinner, at least not without inviting some ridicule. But whether I'm in a meeting at work or whether I'm seated at someone with dinner, it's something I could be doing literally underneath the table. They wouldn't even notice it. And there's part of me that could maybe check out just a little bit from the conversation and what's happening, and just I'm even doing it now as we speak, and just slowing down, feeling that sensation, allowing my full presence to be there. So I think that this is, of all the practices I have, it's the most bite-sized and portable for being able to go about us throughout the day. It's something you could do in almost any situation socially, and not really stand out as doing a meditation practice. So I love that one. The third practice we're going to try, since we have a little bit of time, I would invite you, and I'm going to do the same thing, to look around the room and find something. We're going to rest our attention on a physical object in your room. So for me, I've got some succulents on my window here. I'm going to look at one of those plants. It could be a plant, it could be your phone, it could be any object, a book, anything in your room, but just choose one item. And for the next minute, we're just going to focus on that object with as much attention as you can, trying to put your full awareness on that one physical item. See if you can notice maybe there's part of that object that is more in the shade and more that is lit up. Maybe you can look at it and notice something about the texture of that object that you might not normally notice. You might notice the colors and all the variety. Even on this green succulent for me, there's some dark green and some light green. But the objective here is to just let as much as your awareness and attention be given over to sight, to this one physical sensation. Maybe see if there's something you can notice as you scrutinize this object that you've never noticed before. Maybe you can see something new about this object that you've seen 1,000 times before, but maybe seeing it right now with fresh eyes, with a fresh perspective. And then again, bringing that practice to a close, and I'd invite you to close your eyes just for one more second here, and just check in with your body and see if you notice any changes, any reduction in stress, maybe a little bit more capacity for the current moment. And then opening your eyes, coming back to the call. That similar to the finger exercise, I feel like that's another practice that I think of these as Thanksgiving dinner. Sometimes that's a stressful situation for all of us, but that's something you could be doing at the dinner table and not really attracting much attention. You might just look at the table and just see the turkey with fresh eyes and see the colors and see all of those things. There's something about bringing all of our focus pinpointed to one object that tends to calm us down and to slow us down. I love that Lindsay is using her water bottle as her object. I never noticed or seen it. It is really wild if you do this with something that that you see often, and really invite that fresh perspective. And the last thing I'll say on that is, I think it's a beautiful way to treat people as well. sometimes with people that I see often, I'll use this as I look at them as like, wow, can I just pretend that I'm seeing this person for the very first time? Can I drop all of my story and all of my history and just see them with brand new eyes? That could be another way to de-escalate some situations. Let's do, actually, we have one more minute. Let's try one more. So I'd invite you to close your eyes one last time and bring to mind anything that's stressful for you, just to get that felt sense in your body, turning up the stress just a little bit. And we've used touch, we've used sight. For this final practice, we're just going to use sound, tuning up the attention you give to your ears and any sounds around you, maybe distant, maybe close by. Between my words, maybe even noticing the sound your computer makes, or anything in your room, or anything outside of your room. Just giving 20 seconds here to listen fully, to give your full attention to any sounds that come to your ears. And then bringing that to a close and coming back to the call. That's one that's always surprising for me, because I realize how little I pay attention to the sounds around me. I heard, there's a garbage truck outside our office building here, and I noticed even the sound of my own breathing and my heart beating, and all of these things I think I just tune out as unimportant. And it's just a way to get back in our bodies and notice what's going on. As we were talking about the topic for today, I know unfortunately this is a time of the year that can bring a lot of stress. And so I hope, this month ahead, the next 2 months, travel or family or preparation, I hope that you're able to be kind to yourself, take a few moments just to resource yourself, even if it's just a few deep breaths in the bathroom, or feeling that physical sensation under the table, or looking intently at an object, or even just taking a moment to hear the sounds around you, even while people are talking, just being aware of all the sounds that happen outside of that. So those are 4 bite-sized practices I hope you can use. Thank you all.